think we need to be really careful in all societies about putting undue pressure on women to have children. First and foremost, you don't know what someone's biological status is. There are so many women who are unable to give birth, and that's such a trigger. If you happen to be one of those people who is unable to give birth and constantly on your feed you're seeing, when are you giving birth, when are you giving birth, when are you giving birth? I'm not saying that that's my particular status, but people have to be incredibly careful about how they throw that out there. Second of all, I hate the gender difference, because I can't post a picture without someone saying, when are you giving birth? I am yet to see that on BN's page. He never said that. That was such, again, this was just bad reporting. He said two things. The first thing that he said was on Soul Family, when I went to Ghana and I met Idris Elba. Okay, first of all, you have to kind of understand me and BN's sense of humor. He was like, hey, you met Idris Elba and you didn't smash.
Hello and welcome. My name is Kalundu Musimi. Kama kawaida, you see me, you see an exclusive interview about to go down. And today, here with me is a dance enthusiast. Oh my goodness, I'm honored. Please give it up for the one and only Chiki Kuruka. Hi, how are you?
I'm awesome, man. How are you?
I'm great. I love the energy.
Yeah, well, some people love it, some people hate it. So as long as you love it, we're in good company.
Yeah. Why would someone hate your energy or dislike your energy?
No, not just energy in general. Yeah.
Cool. Talking about dance, how does dance make you feel?
Free. Yeah. I think people dance for different reasons. You know, some people dance for technique, some people dance for exercise, some people dance to perform, you know, to showcase. For me, it's so psychological. It's freedom. It's getting into a space where you let out all of your emotions. And by the time you're finished, you never feel worse off. Yes.
And of course, dance keeps evolving, right? What are we? Where are we at? Kizungu mekata. Kizungu mekata kabisa, Chiki. But where are we at as an industry?
I think Kenya has phenomenal dancers. I think if you're talking about talent, there's so much talent. I think when it comes to industry, which is a bit different, industry is the business behind the talent, it's still growing. And it takes brands like Smirnoff to really put their name behind dance and performance and those kinds of things, because for a very long time, dancers have just been treated like things behind musicians, you know, or things that come on before musicians come on. And it's only really now that you're seeing, with the growth of TikTok, dancers making some proper money from dancing. So as an industry, we are growing. But when it comes to talent, there's so much.
Talking about that, by the way, how do you flavor your edge when it comes to dance?
I think for me personally, my message is consistent. It's always been the same. Freedom. For me, dance is calm. No one should judge you. It doesn't matter what body type you are. It doesn't matter your level of skill and technique. It doesn't matter. Dance should be a unifier. Dance should be for everyone. Dance should be something that no matter what your background is, no matter what your economic status is, everyone should be able to access it.
Would you say, because I've seen you do so many moves, would you say there's one particular move that you're yet to know?
I mean, every style has multiple different types of moves, you know? I don't subscribe to the idea of being a jack of all trades. I'm a soca dancer. I keep it soca. I add a little bit of dancehall, I add a little bit of afro, but overwhelmingly soca is my style. So there are many styles that I've never touched before and probably wouldn't, because they're not styles that I want to do.
You're a soca queen.
Yeah, that's my thing, man. That's my thing.
When you talk about soca dancing, what does that mean?
So soca is, the skill set is about keeping your energy consistent from start to finish. So it's incredibly high energy. So it's being able to execute fast. It's being able to execute clean, but on a really high BPM, and keeping your energy consistent throughout. A lot of styles have highs, lows, don't require necessarily energy. Some is about groove. Soca is about energy.
And you're about to, get into an event at the end of this month, I guess. Mid this month. What's happening?
24th, it's Smirnoff flavor with an edge, and it's all about everything that I've been talking about, man. Good vibes, coming together, freedom, welcome for absolutely everyone, young uns, old uns, anyone in between, as long as you're over 80, over 25, actually, I think. Come down. We're just going to have a really, really good time. And it is just about that. Like, everyone has their own flavor. Yeah. Everyone has their own edge, and everyone should be able to celebrate what's special about them. Yeah. So that's what it's about, man. Coming together and celebrating that unique bit about you. Yeah.
You're gonna be there?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. I'm gonna tuambia tu and then you're
I'll be there. I'll be there.
Chiki, I learned that you're a math and psychology graduate. Oh my goodness, I didn't know that. I mean, and dance. Zinaingiliana wapi?
I also didn't know that. I'm neither a math nor psychology graduate. And I remember that being reported once and being like, yeah, who did this person speak to? Because it wasn't me. For real? My degree is philosophy, and philosophy has so many different branches attached to it. So I did metaphysics and theology and existentialism. Yeah. And a lot of that requires you to do logic. Logic is pure maths. Yeah. So it's part and parcel of what the degree course is, and it's philosophy, not psychology.
So everybody came out to say it's math and psychology. Oh my goodness.
Some people know it's philosophy. Yeah. Actually, quite a lot of people. It's kind of like split. Yeah. Whoever believes it's maths and psychology keeps reporting that. Yeah. Whoever believes it's philosophy keeps reporting that. Yeah. But it is in fact philosophy, and part of philosophy when you're doing ancient Greek philosophy, when you're talking about how to develop an argument, you must learn how to do pure maths. Yes. Yeah.
And I know you enjoy different cultures, right? And of course, born in the UK, right? Married in Kenya. Yeah. Half Swiss, half Nigerian. Do you still have any culture shock in this country?
I mean, I've been here for 8.5 years now, coming on to 9 years. So culture shock, not so much. It is very different from Nigeria, obviously. Yeah. It is very different from the UK. I think what I always find exciting about Kenya is there's always beauty around every corner. Mm-hmm. And sometimes when you've been in a space for a long time, you can kind of take it for granted. Yeah. And I love it whenever I visit a new place or I meet new people and I'm like, goodness gracious me, this country has such phenomenal human beings, such amazing talent. And I think if there's one thing like I get frustrated about is that people need to hear about it more. People need to know more about how awesome Kenya is and how awesome Kenyans are. Yeah.
Chiki, how easy or difficult is it working with your husband?
Well, I think that's an interview for another day. It's a combination of very easy and very difficult, I think I would say. I think the easy parts of it is that we as two people actually want for the same thing. So I never question what BN's intentions are. BN never really questions what my intentions are. We want the same outcomes. We want the same things. Yeah. I think the difficult part is that you just don't switch off from work. And both BN and I are very work-oriented people. So it's like 1 a.m. and I'll be like, babe, have you? And he's like, Akimaze, it's 1 a.m. Why are you still asking me these questions? So I think that's the hard bit, being able to switch off from work at home. Yeah.
Do you ever, sorry for asking you this, but do you ever get pressured by society to give birth? Because you're like, hey, especially in African society.
When is the last time you went on my page? Do I ever not get pressured to have a baby should really be the question. And I find it so unfortunate. First and foremost, I teach a lot of women. So women really are my passion. And I think we need to be really careful in all societies about putting undue pressure on women to have children. First and foremost, you don't know what someone's biological status is. There are so many women who are unable to give birth. And that's such a trigger. If you happen to be one of those people who is unable to give birth and constantly on your feed, you're seeing when are you giving birth, when are you giving birth, when are you giving birth. I'm not saying that that's my particular status, but people have to be incredibly careful about how they throw that out there. Second of all, I hate the gender difference because I can't post a picture without someone saying, when are you giving birth? I am yet to see that on BN's page. it takes two human beings to have a baby. So the idea that that is a women's issue, when are you giving birth? And the idea that, oh, it's really up to the woman. That's nonsense. I mean, that's the most toxic argument I have ever heard. So I think for me personally, I'm not really one to care so much about external pressures. It doesn't really bother me. I have a very good family unit, have a very good marriage. My in-laws are amazing. So it doesn't bother me, but I do plea, I am not going to be the same as someone else. There is going to be someone that is going to be a trigger. There is going to be someone that those comments are going to damage their relationships, not just necessarily with their partner, but maybe with their in-laws and their family. So I think people overwhelmingly need to mind their business. When someone wants to have a child, they're going to have a child. And it's not going to be because someone has left a comment, when are you going to have a child? That's not going to be the reason why anyone has a kid.
Chiki, this particular, I think also when Bien goes to interviews and, he stars a lot of these things. And I think wanakujanga venye umesema, it's not the man wanaenda wanakuja to the woman. And then especially when he came out to say he doesn't mind vasectomy. And everyone was like, you guys don't already have a child. How did you handle that?
But he didn't say that. I really urge, and we're in a media platform, the media to be more responsible in their reporting. He never said that. What he said was contraception can't just be the responsibility of a woman. And he personally, if it were the case that I was uncomfortable with continuing with contraception, he wouldn't mind being the person that takes over that responsibility. And we can't have it both ways. You can't complain that men are not standing up, and then when they are standing up and saying, me personally, I'm happy to support, then punish him for saying that. I just urge the media also, be more responsible in your reporting, because reports impact society. And when people change the messaging and people see it like that, men everywhere, women everywhere start feeling uncomfortable about what their respective roles are.
And because I know these comments are not about to stop right now, since you've clarified. I don't know how now you handle that. Do you block? Do you ignore? What do you do?
I think it just doesn't bother me. I mean, like I said, you can't be in the public eye and be triggered by every Tom, Dick and Harry. It's impossible. I think as long as your home is strong, as long as your family is strong, people will always have something to say. And I think overwhelmingly unhappy people have the most negative things to say. So normally my reaction is, Akiwoye.
When are you going to release your wedding photos?
Never. Never.
Never ever. Never. Why that particular decision? Because, everybody are like, yes, it's a decision. But why?
I think because anytime you put something out there, you're giving people space to have an opinion. My wedding was my business, no one else's. Yeah. And I think all these examples that you're giving about trolling, blah, 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 if people want access to your stuff, then they need to be positive about your stuff. And if they're going to give negative opinions, which a percentage will, then we would rather just make the decision, well, sour, then it's nothing to do with you. Yes.
Chiki, I know you have a dance studio. What do you guys do? I know dance studio, you dance, but what exactly do you guys offer?
So we offer a lot. So it's a space that a lot of dancers hire. There is actually a real shortage of studios, especially studios big enough where artists can come and rehearse with their band, so on and so forth. So we have a lot of that stuff going on. Artists come with their band, they train, they rehearse what their performance is going to be. Then we have a lot of little different dancers who want to do master classes. We've hosted a lot of dancers from all over the world who come and do masterclasses when they're in Kenya. We do one-on-one sessions. So like I said, people dance for many reasons, some for fitness, some for fun, whatever. So we do a lot of one-on-one sessions like that. And we rehearse there.
Yeah. Chiki, are you affordable? Is the studio affordable?
It is. And so it depends on who is asking and for what. So we have so many options. For me, my interest is always the dance industry, the dancers themselves. So we have so many options for the dancers to be able to access the facility. I'm not talking about the consumer. The consumer, everyone has the right to decide who their target audience is and how much they want to charge their target audience. For me, I care about the dancers themselves and making sure dancers have the ability to teach to do masterclasses in a way that's possible for them. So for dancers, 100% we're affordable.
Any more projects you're working on in terms of dance as well?
Too many. My God, my body is in pain right now. I'm on a countrywide tour at the moment for Red Bull Dance Your Style. I'm just nonstop. I have Watamu at the end of next month where we're doing a beach carnival. I have a dance marathon that I'm working on at Junction Mall. I have, so many. Yeah, so many.
And I just remembered you've just said that sometimes with the media and reporting as well. And I just figured that sometimes BN says a lot of things that are seen as controversial. Does he ever get into trouble with you when it comes to the interviews he does?
Nope. I think it's widely commented. Bien and I don't feel like we own each other. Don't feel like we define one another. Bien is entitled to say whatever Bien wants to say.
Yeah. Because he kind of like also was quoted to insinuate that there's freedom, a lot of it that you guys have.
Again, he never said that. That was this was just bad reporting.
Yeah.
He said two things. The first thing that he said was on Soul Family, when I went to Ghana and I met Idris Elba. Okay, first of all, you have to kind of understand me and Bien's sense of humor. Yeah. He was like, hey, you met Idris Elba and you didn't smash. Yeah. It was a joke. Then when he was asked on Over 25 about marriage, what he said is, I don't feel strong marriages. You own your partner. Your partner has the freedom to do whatever it is that they want to do. Yeah. Choose. Those are very important words to take into consideration. I choose my marriage every single day. Bien chooses our marriage every single day. But if you look at these Nairobi streets and everyone talks about Nairobi for the large bedroom that it is, you can smile and pretend that everything is okay. Or you can be honest and be like, oh, I feel suffocated, blah, blah, blah. For us, we never want to get to a point where we feel suffocated. So we just say, and be free. Whilst we're still choosing each other, we know it still works. Maybe the moment we say we don't choose each other anymore is when we'll start making different decisions.
Yeah, because now not everybody, most people, social media users, give that particular interview, not headlines, words like entanglement, words like open relationships, and we're like, please, can you just breathe? How did you handle that? You are like, stop.
Yeah, again, it doesn't bother me. You have to understand that you've asked that question a few times. Note, I don't care. Yeah. I care if my home is happy. I care if my marriage is happy. I care if my family are happy. Those are the only three things that I care about. Outside of that, I really feel other people's feelings are their feelings. They're also entitled to have their feelings. People are going through stuff. There are going to be people who at home are unhappy, who see that, who triggers their feelings of unhappiness, and they're going to comment. And it's okay, That's not my burden to bear. So it really doesn't bother me in any way, shape or form. It would bother me if we were unhappy. It would bother me if my home was unhappy. But because my home isn't unhappy, it doesn't bother me.
As you wind up, what is that particular advice you wish somebody told you before you got married?
Be friends. Be friends. But I think I got that advice a lot from a lot of people. Because the reality is, if you're going to be with someone for like 10, 15, 20, 100 years, whatever, that only works if your foundation is a solid friendship, because there are going to be times you don't like each other. There are going to be times where you irritate each other. There are going to be times when, you pee each other off, But I think on the flip side, people Bien and I have a very strong issue. Both of us have contributed a lot to our respective fields, that our headlines are always about our marriage. I didn't get a headline when I opened my dance studio. I'm on tour at the moment. There's no headline about that. Interviews overwhelmingly start talking more about our marriage than our respective fields. Both of us have worked incredibly hard to be game changers in our respective fields. And the fact that only people want to talk about is our marriage is really boring to us, because what message does that send to another dancer? That you can only be successful if you're married to a celebrity? What message does that send to another musician? That you're as good as your partner? incorrect. Bien is a phenomenal musician, and that's what I want to bring it back to. He's a phenomenal songwriter, he's a phenomenal artist, and he's done phenomenal things for the industry. I'm one of the first dancers to open a dance studio. I'm one of the first dancers to have a self-titled show about dance. I'm one of the first dancers to do a Kenya-wide tour. And that's what the conversation needs to stick about.
About exactly who you are as a person as well. And, also, as a person who is also representing the media, also the people, also they say you also give the people what they want. They want to hear about your studio. They want to hear about also your personal.
Media has such a huge role to play in what people hear. People want to hear what is trending, and the media determines overwhelmingly what is trending. If the communication is always about, oh my gosh, there's huge dance projects, people start getting excited about dance projects. Sauti Sol won a Grammy as songwriters, but the week after we're talking about an open marriage. There is nothing more exciting than one of Kenya's first Grammy award-winning artists, but everyone wants to talk about a marriage. Now, as a media, you have an option. Should we just push the narrative about the Grammy, or do we get into this conversation about an open marriage? Yeah. That's a responsibility that you have as media reporters to keep on track. And it says something about the culture of a country. Nigeria, the amount of art, like if you look at what we talk about, people are so excited about our artists. Why? Because the communication stays about their art. The communication stays about their artistry. If you look at the UK, who are our biggest artists? Ed Sheeran. No one knows anything about his relationship. Yet people do know that he's one of the highest billed artists in the world. They do know that he is a one-man show. They do know that he's come from nothing to everything and that he was homeless. You have a responsibility to keep the conversation on a message that's going to be effective and rewarding to the population.
Yeah, I feel like Chiki has lectured me at some point there, but fans, meskia, right? You be asking us for exactly what Chiki has talked about, and of course, talking about great things on the 24th. Going down and you're gonna be there. What is your message to your fans as well ahead of that particular event?
Come through, you're welcome. Be yourself. It's not one of those spaces where people are going to be just there judging you, and if they are, who cares anyway? Just come, have fun, be free, be edgy, wear what you want to wear, dance how you want to dance, be how you want to be. It's that kind of a space.
Chiki, thank you so much. It's been amazing catching up with you.
Thank you.
All right. Chiki, asante sana. Really appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much, guys, for watching. My name is Kalendu Musime, and of course, behind the camera is the one and only Saidi Abdallah. Please do subscribe, watch. Yes, you are watching, and like. Bye. Let's tell them bye.
Oh, bye.